Welcome to Sustainability Marketing Lecture 9. We still cover the sustainability marketing mix, especially customer cost, the second C of the sustainability marketing mix. In this episode, I would like to introduce you to the case study Active SunCube. Again, it's a sustainability marketing challenge where it's difficult to combine ecological and social value added with customer value. There are two learning objectives. The first one would be to identify and calculate total customer cost of different types of houses, employing sensitivity analysis. And the second one would be to discuss the pros and the cons of passive houses in rural and suburban areas from a holistic point of view. The structure is as follows. First, a brief introduction, a quote regarding construction deficiencies. The second one, the cube, the core product of the company. Then communications and customer cost of Active SunCube. Let's start with a quote. A quote from Dieter Scharf. He is the founder of Active SunCube. He founded Active SunCube in 1999 in Austria. And he's a young engineer focusing on so-called passive houses, highly energy efficient houses. And he said, quote, "Heating is just the correction of construction deficiencies." That's a kind of provocative quote, I would say, or statement. What he means is that nowadays the latest technologies in construction building, they don't need any active heating system anymore. Here you see one of the main houses and models of Active SunCube. It's a very nice, aesthetically pleasing house, a so-called passive house. It faces to the south side, so it gets a lot of sun, and it's very well insulated. It's highly energy efficient. So the solar power can come into the house, but the energy is not getting out of the house. That's why this kind of house, this type of house, the so-called passive house, doesn't need an active heating system anymore. Many of his houses are located in the wonderful area of the Austrian Alps, as you can see here. In the communication, Active SunCube stresses the new lust of living. So they stress the consumer benefits. Actually, they follow two different paths and possibilities to combine the ecological value added with customer value. The first one, they stress the inherent consumer benefits, as we have already learned in the previous lecture on customer solutions. The inherent consumer benefits in the case of passive houses would be the cost savings. The less energy you use up, the less you have to pay. And then they combine the ecological value added with classical purchasing criteria. In the case of houses, that includes the design of the house, the aesthetics, the location, and the comfort, of course. So they are rather successful in increasing customer value of passive houses. That's why in a rather short period of time they have already realized and sold over 200 projects in the Austrian area. What about the customer cost? Here they have a kind of innovative concept as well. In addition to the sustainable product, that is the passive house with no heating system, they offer financial services to make the dream house come true. Usually when you acquire a passive house, there are more upfront costs. The purchasing price is higher. Why is that? Because you have a very high insulation and you have a 3-layer classes, which are more expensive than conventional houses and classes. And yet they pay off in a rather short period of time, the extra investments you make in the beginning. And that is something the financial services would calculate for the customers. In addition to that, as you learned in the previous episode, in addition to the monetary cost, we have to consider the non-monetary cost. Take, for example, the search costs and experience costs. Often you have to search for passive houses, and you might be skeptical whether they really work, whether it's bloody cold in the winter time or rather warm and cozy. These are so-called search and experience costs. To reduce that, they have a Google map on their website where you can identify different kind of projects they realized in the past, and you can simply visit and contact the owner of these passive houses. In addition, they have a tour each year where they show and invite potential customers to different houses and projects they realized. Here are the discussion questions regarding Active SunCube and the Sustainability Marketing Challenge. First, what kind of cost does Active SunCube have to consider in comparison to the life cycle cost of passive houses versus conventional buildings? Second, when you compare the life cycle cost of passive houses versus conventional buildings, make a sensitivity analysis, e.g. by increasing the energy costs. Which effect does this have on the period of amortization? Third, Active SunCube mainly builds passive houses in rural and suburban areas, as shown in one of the slides. Despite a high quality of life in the natural surroundings of the Austrian Alps, what kind of individual and social cost does that imply? Discuss. Here are the references, pages 249 to 251, where we describe the case, the Sustainability Marketing Challenge of Active SunCube, and some web pages you might want to consider. Thank you very much for listening, and bye for now.
Wunderbar.